filed. Climb maintain 14,000. Spec flight level 39015.
So,
departure frequency 12.
where we are at South Ramp, we have information Yankee, request east departure to Prineville.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Whenever you're ready, your comm is going to be this button.
Okay. Redmond ground, Cessna 65259er.
Cessna 65259er, Redmond ground.
Cessna 65259er at South Ramp with information Yankee, request east departure.
Cessna 259er, runway 11, taxi via Bravo.
Runway 11, taxi via Bravo, Cessna 65259er.
Very nice. And then I'm going to let you taxi while I'm telling them really quick.
Okay, yeah.
Redmond ground, Cessna 65259er, just so you know we will be departing to Prineville as well.
Cessna 259er, roger.
Cool. All right. Now that we've done that, we can now taxi to 11 via Bravo, right?
Yep.
So we can pull out our taxi diagram or our airport diagram.
And
cool. So we're going to be going
to Bravo 1.
Yep. Awesome. So whenever you're ready, you have brakes, you have controls, so we're clear left and right.
Right.
You can put a hand on the throttle.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, so one hand on here, one hand on throttle. We're going to be using our rudders to steer. If we need to turn harder, we can use brake, right? But trying to be gentle with those brakes.
Okay, yeah. So.
And whenever you're ready, yeah.
Oh.
Clear, right? While we're doing this, we're also going to do an instrument check, but I want you to focus on taxiing. So putting in as much of that rudder as you can. Rudder's very light. To turn sharp at all, you need those brakes.
Yeah.
That right in there.
Cool. And we have to go left.
Absolutely. So to turn left here, right, we're going to hit that, hold it a little bit longer. I'd say right about there, start turning left, full left rudder, and a little bit of brake.
Oh.
And then stop on that rudder a little bit early.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, no, you're all fine. And now I'm going to do our instrument check really quick while we're doing this. So while turning, we're going to want our attitude indicator within 5 degrees, turn coordinator, wing inside, ball outside, and our heading indicator is still tracking our magnetic compass. Yeah, that's all good. All right, and then right, and then we want to stop right about here.
Okay.
Awesome. Nice. We can look over at that sign, right? And we see that we are on Bravo 1 because that yellow lettering with the black background.
Yep.
And that we're holding short of 11 and 29er. 11 should be directly in front of us.
Okay. Can I adjust the seat?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thanks.
I have controls.
You have control?
I have controls.
I don't know, yeah. Okay.
That better or still need to move forward?
Yeah, I want to like actually do this one, but
not entirely sure if that's possible, but might be.
Yeah.
That feel better at all, or?
Yeah. I think it's better. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I pulled forward and yeah.
Nice.
Better, yeah.
All right. So now we have to do our before takeoff checklist.
Okay. Yeah. Before takeoff checklist. Throttle 1000 RPM. Radios, you have to set the ground.
So we have ground on right now, but we no longer need them, right?
Yeah, we have to.
We already have these guys set up for our next frequencies, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, next one we need is what?
This change to this one.
Because we need to talk to Redmond Tower now.
Yep.
And we have Prineville set up there, so we can just switch it using this when we're... Oh. Okay, cool, it's working. A little bit sticky.
Yeah.
All right, so radios are set.
Radio set. Flaps set for takeoff.
Yep, so for normal takeoff, we'll use...
10.
We could just use 0 for normal
0.
takeoff. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Short fields and soft fields, we'll use 10.
Oh, shit.
You okay?
Lost my pencil.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think I just find it after the flight.
Okay.
I think it's under the seat.
Yeah, it might be a little difficult to get to.
Yeah.
I can't feel it out for you.
Oh,
Nope, okay. Yep,
yeah,
we're just going to have to get that after, sorry.
No
right.
problem, yeah. And then doors closed, latched.
Yep.
Safety checks complete. What's the safety checks?
So safety checks is what we do after we get cleared onto the runway.
Yep.
We're going to start rolling forward, and then we have to do a couple of things, right?
Okay.
So you can either follow it in this order if you want,
Yep.
or you could do it in a different order. For me, how I do it every single time I do it,
Yeah.
I'm going to be cleared for takeoff, so it says blah, blah, cleared runway 11. I'm going to start rolling forward. I want to make sure that my final area is clear, and that the runway is clear.
3938, runway
Seatbelts and seats are secured.
11, clear to land on board.
It's pretty cold right now,
Yeah.
so I can go just halfway rich
Okay.
on the mixture, so
Yep.
I can push it in halfway.
Yep.
So that will set mixture. Want to make sure that our landing light is on, which we can actually just set up right now if we want to,
Okay.
and then call it out later.
Yep.
So landing light is on. We want to start our timer, which you hit enter to start it. You can press clear to clear it, right? You can pause it by hitting enter again, start it again, whatever I need to do.
Okay.
And then I'm going to hit that as well.
Okay.
So those will be all of my checks. We'll practice this a lot of times. You can do it how you want to, but I always do clear, seatbelts and seats, mixture halfway rich, landing light on, starter timer.
Timer. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
All right, so whenever you're ready, you can let Redmond Tower know,
Okay.
and you don't have to cold call them. You can just say Redmond Tower, Cessna, blah, 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 holding short of runway 11, ready for departure.
Okay. Redmond Tower, Cessna 65259er, holding short of Bravo, correction, runway 11, ready for departure.
Cessna 65259, Redmond Tower, hold short, runway 11, regional jet landing.
Hold short of runway 11, Cessna 65259er.
Very nice.
Thanks.
And that's a good call too on, you don't have to repeat back everything they say, right?
Yeah.
It's like regional jet on final, right?
Yeah.
She just needs to know that we know we need to hold short, right? They can give us supplementary information
Yeah.
that we don't necessarily need to say, right?
Okay.
If you're not sure if you
Yeah.
need to, always better to say it back.
Yeah.
But like regional jet there or like any advisory information, stuff like
Yeah.
that, we don't necessarily need to say back to them, right? So that was really good.
Okay, thanks, yeah.
And correction was also the right terminology.
Actually, like, when I read back, like, I didn't hear the, like, what did they say behind the hold short instruction?
Yeah, so she said, hold short of runway 11,
Yeah.
landing regional jet. So the information we need to say is, hold short of 11.
Okay, yeah.
She's just telling us she doesn't have to tell us the reason, but she
Yeah.
just decided to be nice and say, hey, it's because there's a
yeah.
jet coming into land right now,
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
right?
American.
And then remember,
So landing points so that you can avoid the wake turbulence.
yep, so we have a couple things, right?
Yep.
So we can start a timer. It's about 3 minutes. She's probably going to clear us before then. And we're going to be
3938,
gonna be fine, but how do we avoid his wake turbulence from a landing plane? You know how we're going to do it?
Turn right
Like,
on
take
Bravo
off
3 over to ground.
before-
Happy Thanksgiving Envoy 3839.
I have no
Close.
idea, yeah.
So for a landing traffic, right, he just came in like this
Yeah,
and then touched down, right?
yeah.
So everything after that,
259er, left
Doesn't
turn,
have-
eastbound, runway 11, clear for takeoff.
left turn eastbound,
Okay.
11, clear for takeoff.
Left turn eastbound, runway 11, clear for takeoff, Cessna 65259er.
Very nice. All right, so we're going to take off after his landing point where he touched down.
Okay,
So
yeah.
starting off here, you can do this.
okay.
We're going to say clear final,
The final?
clear on the runway, and you can start rolling.
Okay, yeah.
Seatbelts and seats are secure.
Fuel?
Mixture, you can push in halfway rich. Yep, you can go ahead and just push her in halfway.
Half.
By pushing in this big knob here, and then just push forward.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, so that's about full, but full's fine for this. Cool, so trying to stay on this line here. You're doing good. So mixture set, make sure the landing light is on.
Yep.
Landing light is on, and then we can start our timer. Timer is started. Then very last thing we're gonna do is,
Checking the runway number.
yep,
Yeah,
so we have runway 11.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now, when you get to the center line, and you can add a little bit more power if you feel like it, or take your time. Either way is fine. Once we have runway 11, runway is confirmed. Once we get center line, you can go ahead and go full throttle. Go for it.
Oh shit.
Your seat, jump back. All right. So now we have to check our instruments.
Yep.
Make sure those instruments are still in the
Yep.
green.
Yep, still on the green.
Airspeed alive. Once we have 55, you can rotate.
Rotate.
Very nice. Cool. Now let's pitch for VY, which is at
3325 off.
Yes, sir. Good job.
That was 3325 Redmond Tower, runway 11, clear to land, report ZVAD.
All right, 11 clear to land, we'll report CVAD. Scott's 3325.
Awesome. Very nice. Right, a little bit nose down a little bit more. Get that 76. Now once you find kind of where it's sitting on the horizon to maintain, like right there, you can just hold it here.
Okay.
Take a look also when you're doing this back at the runway.
Yep.
And see, do we
Yeah.
need to go left or right? Yep.
Left.
Very nice. We can hold a little bit of that left in, looking at our
Okay.
attitude indicator there. We can see, still need to go a little bit more left and hold it for a bit. All right. And once we're 700 feet AGL, we can make our left turn to the east.
Okay.
So you could start a bank to the left. And I want you to fly heading 065.
065. Okay.
Now, once we're at 1,000 feet AGL, now we can go ahead and do our climbing checklist.
Okay. Climbing, pitch for airspeed, free wide. Okay. Flaps up. Throttle full.
Redmond Tower,
And
Sky on
mixture as
5201,
required.
runway 11.
We can lean above 3,000. So right now,
2013 Redmond
we're
Tower,
only about
runway
1,000
11,
feet
clear to
AGL,
take
right?
off, Left
Yep.
turn.
So we can leave it
traffic,
until we get
runway 60
a 3,000 feet
Regional jet.
up, right?
Okay, yeah.
No delay, clear for takeoff, runway 11.
Cool.
52013.
So from there,
And trim.
so now for trim, right?
Yep.
You're pitching it and holding it here for VY, right?
Yep.
Cool, so once
I
we
think
let go of it a little bit, you don't have to like take your hand off, but like just let go of it for a second. And see what the plane wants to do. Is the nose gonna come up or is it gonna come down?
It's going up.
Cool, so we can add, and it's just going up a little bit, right?
Okay, yeah.
You're not having to like force it down super hard or
Yep.
anything. So just a little bit of nose down trim. See what that does for us. You let it do its thing, what is it going to do? I'd say that's pretty trimmed out, right?
Yeah.
Very good. One thing we don't want to do, right, is if we're flying around and we're like, oh, we're climbing right now, right?
Yep.
You don't want to fly the trim using, or fly the plane using trim, right?
Yeah.
We want to put it where we want it,
Yep.
trim it, then see what it does, right?
I see.
We don't want to be flying, see it's doing something, and then use trim to correct that, right? We want to fly it and then use the trim to hold it there.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome. So continuing out,
And then
Redmond Tower,
traffic avoidance every 500 feet.
awesome. So we're just scanning,
Papa Redmond Tower.
and then we can also do a little wing rock. So we can go to the left and look up,
Redmond, Cessna A39er.
and we can go to the right
over Smith Rock
and look
at
up.
4,800,
with information.
Our goal here
Yankee inbound for landing.
is
full
to
stop.
check for traffic above us, right? Because that's our biggest blind spot.
Yeah.
Base runway 11.
Awesome. And then once you're done with the checklist, always go back to the map page.
Map page. Okay.
Yep. So we can scan for other traffic. Take this off for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Scan for other traffic, use it. We have our frequencies and everything on there.
Yep.
Cool. So another thing, how would you know that we've left the Delta?
I should call the tower and they leaving the airspace or like request frequency change.
So you can request a frequency change, which if we were going to go land at Prineville, I'd have you do every time.
Okay.
But just to know that we're leaving their airspace, not to like do a frequency change, right?
Yeah.
So we have a few ways.
3325, turn right. Bravo.
So there's either we leave it in distance, or we leave it in altitude, right?
Yeah.
So this green line here is the Delta on the GPS. So we actually just left it.
I see.
We could also use ForeFlight
Yeah.
and see that we've left the Delta as well.
Yes.
And then how tall is the Delta, do you know?
It was maybe 4,000 feet.
So in AGL, a Delta is, and I'm going to switch our frequency. Our Delta is, every Delta, a standard Delta, is about
4,000 feet above ground level.
2,500 AGL.
Okay.
So if we look at our sectional, right, which is why it's important we look at it, that 56 in that box there is the Delta's height in MSL. So once we're over 5,600 feet, we've also left the Delta.
I see, yeah.
Cool. So we've left. I went ahead and switched our frequency for us.
Victor, left down with 11,
And I'm going to have you do a right turn to 090.
Turn right heading 090.
And climb to 6,500.
Okay, climb to 6,500.
Private traffic, 95539er, 2 miles south to the airport, inbound midfield, right tail drop, left down in, runway 11, high mil.
And then I'm doing this for Seattle Center. Cool. And once you're there, you can do a cruise checklist.
Well, traffic check, 9830 Victor, being 1047 from Power Friendly, Bravo.
Okay.
Prineville traffic system 65259er, 4 miles to the south of the airfield at 6,500, heading eastbound, Prineville traffic. All right. So whenever you're ready, can hit that cruise.
9830 Victor, left base,
Cruise checklist, pitch for airspeed. And flaps up.
On that one, you're reading the climb checklist.
Sorry.
The first thing we always want to remember on the cruise checklist is pitch, power, then trim, right? So you're pitching to keep this down and until our airspeed gets high, right?
Yeah.
Then power is the next thing we want to do because we don't want to redline the aircraft, so you can reduce power down to like 2,300 RPMs.
Number traffic check, 9830 Victor, final 11, Power 180, touching event, or private.
You could push that nose as hard as you need to.
95539er, over the midfield.
Very nice.
Left down in, runway 11.
Last thing is trim, right?
Trim.
So what are you having to do right now to keep the plane's nose down?
Yep.
Right? You're having to push pretty hard on this, right?
Yeah, now I'm really...
So we can use a lot of trim, right? Until you don't have to push on this anymore.
Oh.
So just hold it there.
Yep.
And if we, right, you're still having to push down on it, right?
Yeah.
So we can release some more trim until it stops wanting to do it.
20135 miles west of the airport.
If we look outside, where's the nose going?
45 at 3 inches left down.
It's going up.
Yep, so let's force it back down again until we stop climbing.
Okay.
And then use some trim. And on these ones, right, we're having to make a little bit bigger of adjustments. So you can use a little bit bigger trims until it levels out a little bit, right?
We'll be making a right cross.
Now let's see what it wants to do.
Departure to the west, southwest.
Now it's wanting to descend a little bit, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Then, like, slightly...
And sometimes it's just super small adjustments
Yeah.
as you get closer and closer. Looking at our VSI and our attitude indicator, right about there is going to be straight and level in terms of our pitch attitude. So let's, before we touch the trim, let's just hand fly it so that it stays at that altitude at 6,700. Right there, it's holding, right?
Yeah.
Now let's see if we let go, where's it going to go? Are you pulling up at all?
No, I'm not.
Okay, yep. So slightly nose high, right?
Yeah, okay.
Maybe just a touch, yeah. Alright. It's descending a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd say you got it pretty much as good as you could probably get this plane to go, right?
Yeah.
Maybe just like a tiny touch.
2136, we're out of 9,000 for 15,000.
Alright, go ahead and turn me
So Skyhawk 5213, you have 30 vacant flight.
Left.
heading 360.
Okay, turn left heading 360.
Delta 2136, Seattle Center, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Oh, and then finishing up that cruise checklist.
Okay.
Delta 2136, Seattle Center, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Taking right church off with the left down, 1811, and touching go, 50. Primary traffic Cessna 95539er, left down in, runway 11, prime bill. November 3080, uniform VFR request.
And I'm sorry, who had a request?
We have a 3080 uniform with VFR request.
Can you give me your call sign only again, please?
Alright.
November 3080 uniform with VFR request.
November 308, Sierra Uniform, squawk 3516, state type?
Walk 351.
So what else we got in that cruise checklist?
3080
Cruise checklist, okay. Pitch level
November 3080 uniform.
2100 to 2700. Team set. Mixture.
November 8, Sierra Uniform, ready to contact on my
So the same way we did on the ground, right? We're going to slowly lean that out until we see a little rise and then a drop.
Hold over to chute, followed by RNF 34 into Madras, low approach, self vector
You keep leaning out.
Alright,
It bounces sometimes.
Taxi for approaches approved, no separation services provided, maintain VFR, advice when you are starting that approach.
Maintain VFR, we'll
Watch banking to the right there.
300.
Boom, right there as it's dropping, right?
Yeah.
Cool, and then you can do another one in. I do about 2 nice full wrist flicks. Make sure it gets back to peak.
Primary traffic Cessna 95539.
Alright,
Final,
cool.
touch and go.
So,
runway 11, prime bill.
And then landing
Primary traffic Cessna
light.
5313,
Yep.
touch to left down, runway 11, touch and go, prime
And
bill.
engine instruments check monitor.
so engine instruments, both are in the green.
Yep. Airspeed on green. Attitude indicator, it's working.
So these are our flight deck instruments, right?
Yep.
Our engine instruments are just...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep, you're all good.
So, yeah. All temperature green, all pressure on green, suction gauge on green.
Cool, alright. Could you take me over and face that white mountain for me?
White mountain?
Yeah, that big one over there, it's like Mount Jefferson.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, go straight for a little bit longer, actually. I don't want to fly over Prineville.
Okay, yep.
So, go ahead and descend me down to 6,400. How would you do that?
6,400.
Yep. What's our current altitude?
It's 6,800.
Cool. Alright. So how do we descend down?
Pitch, throttle, trim.
That would be for cruising. In this case, whenever we plan on reducing throttle, right?
Yeah.
So descent planning is for like when we're heading into an airport, but just whenever we need to descend in altitude, right?
Yeah.
We take it two different ways. So we know we're going to reduce throttle, right?
Yep.
I always reduce it to either idle or to 1500 RPM.
Okay.
So we know we're going to do that, right? So we can do carb heat on because we're going below the green arc.
Okay. Carpet on.
Yep. And then we can reduce throttle down to 1500. You could do that pretty fast if you want to. 1500, and you can already feel that nose wants to drop, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's let it drop.
Oh.
And watch that bank you have in there. Slight right one. Keep it a little bit to the left.
Oh.
Cool. And we're descending, right?
Yep.
Now, before we get to 6,400, we're going to want to add that power back a little bit, right? So probably 50 feet before.
Yep.
Because we still want to get down there.
Yep.
Adding that power back in. Bring that pitch up a little bit. And you can put carb heat in again. Because we're back in that green arc, right?
Yeah.
So theoretically now, if you put it at 2300 and the RPMs, we should still be trimmed out for straight and level flight.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So whenever we descend, carb heat on, throttle back to 1500.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. And then catch it early, right, like you did, so that we can maintain our altitude. All right, turn left heading 300.
Turn left heading 300.
Seattle Scouts 4705.
Let's use a 20 degree bank.
20 degree. Okay.
Scouts 4705 Seattle Center, radar contact 2 miles west of the Redmond Airport. Climb and maintain flight level 230.
230, Scouts 4705.
Scouts 4705.
And let's turn to fly to that mountain.
180.
White mountain.
Yep, the white mountain in between, kind of in that valley there.
Heading one more time for 4705.
180 heading for
All right.
4705.
So cool.
180.
So we're going to show you slow flight now, right?
Okay. Yep.
So first thing we got to do is our pre-maneuver checklist.
Okay.
Purely for time's sake, I'm going to do it and have you follow along with me. So you can continue this 360 that you're doing here. Starting here, let's do a left 360 and end pointing back at that mountain again.
Okay. Yeah.
So to do our pre-maneuver checklist, we have to get a couple things done. First thing is we have to do a clearing turn.
Carrington.
So that's why we're going to do a 360 and point back at this mountain. So you can start that left 360.
Okay. Left 360.
Yes, sir. And end back at 270. Or at that mountain.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So during this left 360, we want to look outside and see if we can see any other airplanes, right?
Yep.
We're looking for other traffic.
Scouts 4705.
Then the other thing we want to do is our pre-maneuver checklist is our backwards 7, right? So we're going to start at our seat belts.
Yep.
And we're going to go seat belts and seats, secure. We got our fuel shutter or our fuel selector on both. Flaps are up. Mixture, we always want to go half rich for maneuvering.
Okay. Yeah.
Throttle, we have set right now, right? We're in control of it.
Yep.
And be sure not to climb here. If we're climbing a little bit, just add a little bit of down.
Yep.
So throttle is set. Carb heat is set. Off is fine. I always turn landing light on for maneuvers.
Okay.
Just to help other people see us, right?
Yep.
And then magnetos are on both. So our key, right?
Yeah.
The selector is on both. And then our master switch is on, right? Master switch on.
Master switch on.
Primer is in and locked. So could you, when you have a second, just give the primer a jiggle?
Primer.
Yep, just like pull it, try to, yeah, make sure it's just locked in there so it's not going to go anywhere, right?
Yeah, it's locked.
Cool, all right. So, we're still doing that clearing turn. We could do that checklist while we're doing it, just make sure to be looking outside also.
Okay.
We're looking for that mountain we started at to finish the clearing turn while looking out.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. Yep, and that's the one we started with, so we can round up there. So we've done our clearing turn, and we've done the pre-maneuver checklist, right?
Yep.
Other things we need We need a emergency landing area. So
Okay.
I'm going to use, because we're not quite close enough to Prineville to use it.
Okay.
I'm going to use one of these fields straight ahead of us, right? My visual reference will be Mount Jefferson straight ahead of us.
Yes.
My heading for that is about 270.
Yeah.
Altitude will be 6,500, and airspeed is above 85. So airspeed's looking good as well.
Okay.
Then I have my emergency landing area. I've done HAA, my clearing turn, and my pre-maneuver checklist. Last thing I need to do is make a radio call to let people know I'm maneuvering.
Okay.
So we'd want to pick a reference that people could see us from. So if you go back to that map, right? You can see probably Prineville is our best reference right now, right?
Yeah.
So if you put 2 fingers down on there, you can see how far you are from Prineville.
Oh. It's
About 4 or 5 miles away, right? So let's call it 5 miles.
Yep.
So we're 5 miles to the northeast of Prineville at 6,500, maneuvering to the northwest.
Okay.
Does that make sense for that call?
So 4.5 miles away from
You could just
Prineville.
round up and say 5.
Yeah, 5 miles away from Prineville, altitude 6,500, and heading to north practice area.
So in this case, we'd want to say 5 miles away from Prineville. We want to also say in what direction, right? Because they don't know if we're north, south, east, west of Prineville.
Okay.
So we're 5 miles to the northeast of Prineville
5 miles northeast to the Prineville. Okay.
at 6,500,
That's 6,500.
and we're going to be maneuvering to the northwest.
And you're heading to the northwest. Okay, gotcha. So like call sign for
Yes.
here is like Prineville
Traffic.
Okay.
Prineville traffic, Cessna 65259er, and then finish the call with another Prineville traffic.
Okay, gotcha. Prineville traffic, Cessna 65259er, 5 miles north east of Prineville, altitude 6,500, maneuvering to north practice area, northwest heading, Prineville traffic.
Good. Only thing that you didn't even say was going to the north practice area.
Okay, yeah.
Just have to say maneuvering northwest.
Okay, maneuvering northwest.
All right, so I have controls.
Yeah, controls.
So you can still hold on to everything, and I'm gonna have you do this a lot, minus the throttle. But like holding onto the yoke and putting your feet on the rudders to feel what I do, right? So we've done the whole pre-maneuver checklist. We have our emergency landing areas. We've made our call. We did the checklist. We have HAA, right?
Yep.
So in slow flight, this is trying to set up what it's like to land, right? Like the approach to landing.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm looking out at that reference.
Okay.
First thing I gotta do is carb heat out.
Yep.
And I'm gonna reduce down to 1,500.
Okay.
I'm below 110, so I can do flaps 10.
Yep.
And then below 85 is for flaps 20 and 30. So now I can do below VFE 85, flaps 20, and you can put your hand on it. And 30. And then I'm trying to maintain 6,500.
Extended left down in, runway 11.
And I'm waiting for 45 plus 10 or until I hear stall horn. Oop, and there it is. So we're going to use 55 to 65 is my airspeed I need to use. So I added back power. I'm in the green arc so I can put carb heat in. And then I'm trying to maintain 65 plus 10 of my starting airspeed. So my stall horn went off at about 55, right?
Yeah.
So about 10 plus on that is my goal. And I'm at 85, and then I'm holding my reference, right? So this whole time, I'm just checking these. I'm looking out at my visual reference to see, am I going too far this way? Am I going too far that way, right?
Yeah.
And now, I'm going to look at my power setting, right? I just put it up to like 2100 so that I could catch my airspeed, right?
Yeah.
But now that I'm here, I'm maintaining 55 where my stall horn went off, right?
Yeah.
But I'm still climbing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So how could I, in this configuration, stop climbing?
Pitch down.
So that's the one thing about slow flight. It's the opposite controls, right? So if we were in regular cruise, you would absolutely be right. I would want to pitch down to lose my altitude, right? Which isn't also necessarily wrong. But when we're landing and when we're at such a slow airspeed, we actually reduce power. And I went below the green arc, so I can turn carb heat back on. And then if I maintain 55 still, right? But I've reduced that power, now I'm